So you're ready to go to the next level? You set a goal, you're ready to go for it? Well, I'm here to help you. I'm James Blasco with Charge Forward Coaching. This is a Charge Forward Coaching podcast. Excited to have you here. For those of you who may have not seen the last two episodes, I'm focusing on a series here on the 4 C's of mental toughness. And we're in episode 3, which is going to be focused on challenge. If you don't recall, or if you didn't see the first 2 episodes, the 4 C's of mental toughness are commitment, control, challenge, and confidence. And there's a great book out there. I've shared this a couple times now, Developing Mental Toughness. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of information, but if you're into learning more about the 4 C's and mental toughness it's an excellent book, and you'll get a lot out of it. So let's talk about challenge. So challenge, this is great because today, as we record this, it's Super Bowl Sunday, one of my favorite days of the year. And I can remember as a kid, a long time ago, I'm about to date myself, there weren't that many Super Bowls to that point. And so on Super Bowl morning, ESPN would run in 30-minute segments all the NFL film highlights of all the Super Bowls. It would start with Super Bowl 1 and go to Super Bowl, whatever, up until that game that day. And I was just enamored by it. I would watch this thing. I'd get up early and I'd watch every single episode of every single Super Bowl. And what always kind of touched me and made me think was, wow, there was always a player or two that was unbelievable, right? Maybe they became MVP of the game. They just had a great game. They overcame something. They did something that maybe in the regular season or their whole career they never did, but in that game they were able to do it. And so fascinated by that, as the years went on, I've continued to educate myself and study on the mindset of individuals like that and how they can accomplish such great things. So today we're going to talk about challenge. And in the Super Bowl today, it's going to be a lot of challenge, right? People put themselves in a position to do something that very few people have accomplished, and that's win a Super Bowl, even compete in a Super Bowl. And so this thing, challenge, is extremely important when it comes to mental toughness. So let's talk a little bit about what challenge actually is and kind of some things you could do to put yourself in a better position to take advantage of it. So challenge is really all about taking on something that represents something important to you. And to do that, you have to risk, right? You have to put yourself in a position where you might succeed or fail. And so that brings us to the 2 specific elements of challenge, and that is risk orientation and learning orientation. So let's start with risk orientation. So risk orientation is when you look at challenges as opportunities. You look at things as a chance to improve, to achieve something, and there's a risk, but you have a high level of either confidence or belief that you can accomplish it, whatever you're trying to do. And so the risk orientation is all about, quite simply, just being willing to try something, to do something that's out of your comfort zone, something that maybe others aren't willing to do. And even if they are, you're willing to go into it with a really positive attitude in an attempt to achieve a specific goal and maybe learn something, which brings us to the second part of challenge, and that is the learning orientation. So it's one thing to put yourself in the arena and try to accomplish something, get out of your comfort zone. But then what if you don't have success? Maybe you fail. Maybe you don't accomplish what you were trying to accomplish. Maybe you even struggled mightily. But your mindset is not that you were defeated, that you failed or are a failure. Your mindset is, I'm going to look at this. What can I learn from it? And that goes for when you don't succeed and when you do succeed, because everything that you try to do, that you try to accomplish, that you take on as a challenge, that you risk, winning or losing, right? Succeeding or failing, everything, it doesn't matter the result, you're going to learn from it. And when you learn from it, you're going to grow. And you've heard this on the previous podcast. You fail, but then you begin to win and win and win, because through your failures, you learn and you adapt and you start to rebuild your process, right, to account for those areas where you weren't up to task, but you learned from it, and then you begin to win again. And that's the ultimate goal. So when you look at challenge, it's a really important component of mental toughness. That's why it's one of the 4 C's, because it's that part of mental toughness where you're actually going to take action. And you have to put yourself in the arena. You have to be willing to take a risk. And then no matter what happens, you're going to learn from it. So I hope you learned something today about challenge and 3 of the 4 C's to this point. And next episode, we'll get into the 4th C, and that is confidence, maybe the most important. And from my perspective, one of the best things that you can do to not just understand the 4 C's, but start to implement and include them in your lives and your daily habits so you improve that mental toughness is you could read, you could watch videos and podcasts like this. You could also get a coach. I'm a coach, and I can help you sort through and understand that, what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, and really help you define ways to do that. And specifically including improving your mental toughness, your mindset, because if you have any big goals, it's going to take mindset, mental toughness to help you to achieve them. And it's not overly complicated to understand, but it helps to have somebody there to guide you, hold you accountable, and educate you more on how to build up a tough mental mindset. So I'm here to do that. You could go to chargeforwardcoaching.com. You could see more podcasts and learn from not just myself, but others that I've interviewed that are highly successful. They'll talk a little bit about the 4 C's and some other things about mental toughness. And then also I offer free discovery calls. So if you want to reach out, go on my website, you go to the sessions page, and you could just click on a free discovery call, and we could spend 30 to 50 minutes understanding a little bit more about you and your goals, a little bit more about me and my coaching style. And then we could determine if you want to pursue a little bit further into uncovering your mental toughness. So with that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and all of that. And most importantly, keep charging forward.